6 years. 6 years I spent building a dream on land everyone else walked past. But the day it finally became my home, the HOA arrived with threats, lies, and a plan to erase everything. They didn't know what I was willing to fight for. Picture this. You find a forgotten piece of earth by a silent lake, a place with no visitors, no footprints, no future. Everyone else sees weeds, broken soil, and a shoreline that's been ignored for decades. But you see a cabin, a home, a life. You see laughter echoing off water, your family gathered on a wooden deck, sunlight painting the walls golden. So you start building with no crew, no blueprint, just determination and a dream that refuses to die. The storms tear your progress apart, your hands blister, your savings run dry. People mock you, call your dream impossible. But you keep going, because the only thing more painful than building a dream is giving up on one. And the moment that dream finally stands tall, the moment your family calls it home, a group of strangers storms your land with clipboards and threats, tear it down. It's not yours. They weren't ready for the fight that came next. 6 years. 6 long years that feel like a lifetime now. But back in 2017, when I first stumbled upon that abandoned stretch of lakeside land, my life was very different. The dirt was untouched, cracked from years of sun. Old tree roots twisted across the ground like veins. Birds scattered as I walked through thigh. High weeds, no roads led to it. No fences marked it. No one cared about it. Everyone else saw a forgotten mistake, but dreams don't come from what people see. Dreams come from what you see. And the moment my boots hit that soil, I felt something, a connection, a promise. A whisper, build here. In the early weeks, the land fought me like it wanted to test my resolve. Roots nearly snapped my shovel. Rocks bent my tools. A sudden rainstorm turned dirt to mud that swallowed my shoes. But I kept swinging, kept digging, kept pushing. Every day I arrived before sunrise. Every day I left after sunset. Sometimes I'd rest against a tree and stare across the lake, imagining the cabin that didn't exist yet. People love finished products, but they rarely love the process. The process was hell. For the first year, I didn't even have walls, only piles of material. I'd collected slowly, paycheck by paycheck. I spent nights sleeping in my truck to save gas money, ate sandwiches for weeks straight, learned carpentry, plumbing, roofing alone, failed 100 times. The first wall I built collapsed. The second leaned like a sad, drunk structure. The third finally stood straight even if I had to brace it with everything I owned. Neighbors started noticing the shape rising from the earth. Some admired it, some mocked it, but no one understood why I was doing it. They didn't know it was my dream since childhood to build a home with my own hands, on land untouched by the world. They didn't know how healing it felt to carve a new future out of broken ground. By year 3, the cabin finally looked like a cabin. Timber beams formed the spine. A metal roof glinted beneath the sun. Windows framed the lake like artwork. My family pitched in whenever they could. My child painted the first door red even though the paint dripped everywhere. My spouse picked stones from the lake shore to build a small pathway leading to the deck. Every corner had a memory. Every step had a story. This wasn't just a building. This was us. On the first evening, we lit a kerosene lantern and sat on the deck. The world felt still. The lake reflected orange and pink waves. Birds glided across the water. The wood beneath us creaked softly, the sound of a dream settling into reality. We laughed. We ate. We lived that night for the first time. Cabin didn't feel like a project. It felt like home. I wish that feeling had lasted longer. It didn't. The envelope arrived out of nowhere. White, clean, cold. Placed neatly on my half-built porch. Cease all construction or face legal consequences. Your property is under HOA jurisdiction. I frowned. HOA, where my land wasn't part of anything. I ignored it. Big mistake. They came 3 days later, 4 of them, matching polos, clipboards, expensive sunglasses. They walked across my land like they owned it. One of them pointed at the cabin and said, "This structure violates community standards. It must be removed." Another one took pictures without asking permission. The leader looked me up and down and said, "Failure to comply will result in forced demolition." Everything went quiet. The lake, the birds, even the wind. My fists tightened. 6 years. 6 years of labor. And these strangers wanted to erase it in a single sentence. Not happening. The next day, I turned my dining table into a battlefield, old deeds, historical documents, property records, photos of construction, receipts from every purchase, surveys from decades ago showing the land existed before the HOA. I built my defense with the same determination I built my home. The HOA escalated, meetings, threats, emails, even lawyers. They tried intimidation, but they underestimated one thing. When you build something with your own hands, you protect it with your whole soul. Months passed. Finally, the county reviewed everything, and the truth was absolute. The land was mine. The cabin was legal. The HOA had zero authority. When the HOA heard the decision, their faces turned pale. They left quietly, angrily, defeated, but they left, and that was enough. Weeks later, my family and I sat on the finished deck again. This time, we weren't just watching a sunset. We were watching the end of a battle. The lake shimmered softly. The trees swayed gently. The cabin stood tall, unshaken, unbroken. Every memory, every scar, every year, worth it, because some dreams can't be stolen, not by fear, not by storms, not by people who refuse to understand the meaning of hard work. Some homes are not built by hands. They're built by heart, 6 years of sweat. One dream, a fight that proved some things are untouchable. If you've ever fought for what was yours, you know exactly how this feels. This video is a dramatized, AI-generated story created for entertainment purposes only. Names, characters, and situations are fictional and do not represent any real individuals or events. This content fully complies with YouTube's community guidelines and policies. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.